This week is another road trip, and this time I'm heading north to the Scottish borders. I managed to bag a brand new permission up this way, but the only problem is it's almost 200 miles north. Okay, so I was working in the Lake District. We were installing some level monitors on a farm, and the lady came out and I obviously talked to her about metal detecting, and basically she gave me permission. So I came back a couple of weeks later, and this is what happened. I found one of the best coins I've ever found in my life. So this is the first signal I'm interested in. There's a lot of iron about in this field, but I like that. As you can see, whatever it is just there. It looks pretty big and chunky. Is that a coin? Flipping heck it is. My first signal, my first find is a cartwheel penny, look. 1 ounce of copper. I actually can't believe that. First signal, my first thing that I've dug, first find, a cartwheel penny. That is awesome. My next signal is out of the ground. 80s, look. I've seen something round and green down there. I'm sure it's a half penny maybe. Just here. That has to be a coin, look. That's going to be Victorian, I reckon. Oh, it's really crusty. I'm going to have a closer look at this, but I reckon that's going to be a Queen Victoria halfpenny. So we can just see on the top left up here it says Georgius, so it's going to be George V, isn't it? But it's really crusty and beyond recognition. We've got Britannia on this side. The date would be at the bottom down there, but I can't see it. But it'll be about 1920 to 1930 or thereabouts. This one screams shallow coin or aluminium junk. 87, look, 88, crisp, whatever it is, right here. I think I might have grey soil, which means I reckon we've got a coin. Look, we've got imprint there. And that is going to be pre-decimal, big penny. I reckon it's going to be George V again, look. Can you see him facing to the left? And there we go, look, if you look at the bottom of that coin, I can clearly see a date of 1929, so that's going to be King George V. It's not in the greatest condition, is it? Look, but he's there facing to the left. That's 3 coins, and I've only been here for, what, 20-30 minutes? Next one is out of the ground, look, banging 86, and I reckon I've got another coin down there. Because if I flip this over, have a look at that. We're back on the Georgian crusty copper. That's going to be a George III halfpenny, but he's completely ruined. We're not going to get anything off that whatsoever. Have a look at this one down here, look, 87, 88. Seems to have been preserved, because it's still got this brown colour to it. But it's another big penny. Very rarely do they come out of the ground this colour, look. That is still brown. That's the colour these coins are meant to be. 1917 I can see on that one. That's beautiful. Really chuffed with that one. And as you can see, as with the couple of the others, it's King George V. Again, facing to the left. And there's Britannia. It's a little bit crusty. You can see the date down there, but I don't mind. It's another pre-decimal. There has to be silver coins on here somewhere. Yeah, another coin, look, 87, 88. Again, it's only a couple inch down. I can see the edge. I can see the rim of something. Another penny. Can you see it? I wonder if this one's been preserved as well. It's still brown. No. Well, kind of. It's another pre-decimal penny. Gonna have a closer look, see what it is. And as you can see, look, we've got a 1927 pre-decimal penny. George V again. This one's pretty crusty, not in the best of condition. I reckon they must get a lot of rain up this way. I'm 180 miles north. I mean, this is such an unfamiliar landscape for me. But it's also an undetected landscape for me. And this is my next one. 85, 86 it was looking at. There's another coin in there. Have a look at the imprint on that. It's going to be George V again. And there he is. I've got imprint on this side as well. Crusty look on that side. Well, there's my boy, King George V again. This side's not bad, look, for a King George V penny. The other side's pretty crusty though, look. But we can clearly see a date down there, look, 1917. That's awesome. So the landowner asked me to detect by that stone there. Apparently the kids used to call it the fairy ring. You can't really see on here, but it is round and there's a almost dent in it. And I did have a coin from just around here, that King George V penny. And I reckon I've got another one here, look, clear as day. It's going to be very shallow, that. We're going to open this one up live and watch and see if we can see a coin. It's so difficult to dig with one hand. Look at that. There's the imprint. We've even got a date on there and everything. Here we are. Yeah, again, another pre-decimal penny. This one's got a date of 1946 on it, so it's going to be King George VI, Mr. Side Parting. Again, like most of the others, pretty crusty, not good condition. It's been damaged by water. But he's there, King George VI, he's there. I'm running out of time fast now, but look, a pin badge with a 7 motorbike on it, look. Never seen one of those before. I wonder if the landowner likes motorbikes. Yeah, cool. This one was a mid-tone, look, 74, 75, 76. I think I've got another coin down there. I can see green, round, smooth. So in my not so professional opinion, I'd say that's going to be a Queen Victoria halfpenny or Edward VII with those kind of numbers. Ooh. Oh, it's gone. So that is Britannia side. That is the portrait. There's a left facing monarch there, and indeed it's a very worn old Queen Victoria. We're going to have a closer look at this, and as you can see down there, look, we've got a date 1899, so it's not that early. It's a veil head. She died a couple of years later. It's very worn, smooth. You can just about make her out with the veil head facing to the left. That is awesome. My first Victorian coin up this way. Well, on this new landscape, first time I changed fields, not been having that much joy, just crusty coins, and I had a really nice faint signal. I didn't record it because I've only got 20 minutes left, but have a look at this. I think I found hammered, big hammered, first hammered of 2025, my third silver of 2025. Have a look at this. So it basically sounded like that, just a faint squeak, and then a couple of shovels down. Check this out. That right there is a big hammered, and we go out on a limb and say it's a James I shilling. Well, look at this. Oh my God, I actually can't believe it. That is absolutely huge. Wow. I'm almost shaking. I can't believe I found that. I actually can't believe it. Look at that. That is an absolute stonker of a hammered. I'm going to get this out for you and show you. I'm buzzing. Look how thick that is. Oh my God. Look at the thickness of that. Just look at that. Look at the imprint and everything. And naysayers can't say anything about that one, can they? That is amazing. I actually can't believe it. Oh my gosh. I think it might be a Charles I, you know. You see it says Christo up here, but good Lord. Okay, so I've decided it's a Charles I. Probably a shilling. I can see a V and a 1-1 there. I'm going to go and find some water and clean this properly because I don't want to scratch it, but that's a big wad of Charles I silver. OMG. There is always a water source, isn't there? Somewhere in a field. Even in the Lake District. Well, especially in the Lake District. Oh, I can't believe that. My first ever big Charles I. God, it's an absolute wad of silver. Unfortunately, oh wow. Yeah, he's on there. And you can see the X and the 1 and the 1. So there you go, look, X11. That's a shilling. And you can see him facing to the left. You see his crown anyway. Oh, it's bloody brilliant. This side is absolutely incredible. I wonder what the landowner's going to think when I show her. Hope she doesn't want to take it off me. Big chunk of silver. So here are my finds from a short hunt on the new permission on the Scottish borders. Really happy with this, and there has to be stacks more stuff to find still. Obviously the star find was this giant silver hammered coin, and what a coin this is. The shield side is absolutely immense with lovely crisp details and a solid legend around the edge. If we zoom in on that, just take a look at those details, the lettering and that wonderfully toned colour. It gives me enormous pleasure holding this coin. The portrait side is not so good, but Charles I is there, he's definitely on there somewhere, look. The lettering around the edge and the X11 are really good. I believe the mint mark is a star, struck in 1640 or 1641. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the motorbike badge. It's actually an Isle of Man TT pin badge, which is a world famous motorbike race. Before I headed home, I took a trip to Penrith and had a lovely misty walk around the remnants of Penrith Castle, constructed in the late 14th century as a defensive structure against the Scottish raiders. Almost 100 years later, Richard III transformed the castle into a royal residence. In 1648, during the English Civil War, the castle served as a parliamentarian headquarters. The coin that I found was minted around this time, so that's awesome. In the 16th century, the castle fell into disrepair. Today it stands in a public park and is maintained and managed by the English Heritage. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button up there. Check out some other videos on my channel, and we'll catch you on my next episode whenever and wherever that might be. Say bye.